all bow our heads, get ready. It's going to be important. That's not the Prince thing, is it? No, it's close, though. I don't even know. Okay. Good, so we're live. Welcome to On Set, guys. I am Daniel Norton. This is Dave. Seth's over here on the mighty mixer. We've got Julia, which is my second favorite Beatles song written about one of their mothers. Right? There you go. So check that out for people that don't know. Julia, it's on, I don't know what album it's on. Check it out, Beatles fans. All right, so, kids. Anyways, are you looking right now? You don't have to look now. Okay, so today we're talking about, oh, by the way, if you guys don't know, we stream now on YouTube and Facebook, so maybe if you're watching it on YouTube or Facebook, you probably know that. But if you aren't able to come in, let's say you're on a date, you know, you're in prison, maybe you're in line at the DMV. Well, in line at the DMV, I'm not sure where you are. You can watch my stream at 5 o'clock on Thursdays. I'm going to be here next Thursday as well for character portraits, which would be really fun because I'm going to get a little funky. And then I think we take a week off. So just watch the schedule on adorama.com/events and you'll see that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. So anyways, we're talking about constant light versus flash because this is the second, I'll say. I don't really know what number it is, but I'm going to say the second in the series of the questions I get when somebody walks up to me at the end and says, can I do this with? So I'm going to kind of break down a little bit of like some common constant type lights and some common flash type lights, and we'll talk about some of the differences and why you might use one over the other. And in the process, we'll make some pictures as we go. If you have any questions, please ask here. You can ask online too. I will try to say everything I'm using equipment-wise, but I probably will forget. So if there's something I'm using and you want to know, you're like, Daniel, what's that thing? Go ahead and ask and I'll let you know. They love to sell stuff at Adorama, so I'd be sure to shout it out and tell you exactly what it is. Although I never know what it costs, so don't ask me that. Okay, so anyways, here I am in Adorama, and just to start off this whole thing, I'm going to say I'm being lit with, you guys know this because you're here, with a bunch of fluorescent lights, right? So sometimes you're using a constant light because you're shooting video, right? You obviously aren't going to use a flash to shoot a video. So if you are somebody that does both, or only shoots video, then you could probably just put me on mute, leave the video up because it's good for us to have more playtime, right? So you can no, but anyways, if you shoot video, you might want a constant light for that reason. Certainly if you're just starting in lighting, you might want to start with a constant light. Sometimes it's a good place to start because you're already presumably shooting with the sun or lights in a building or the windows or whatever, right? You're already using the light that's around you. This is just the same process, but with control, right? So a constant light is often a good way kind of to step into photography. What I usually say is that the learning curve is less steep, right? You're going to be able to start shooting right away faster, and you're going to probably be a little more comfortable. You won't need, let's say, an external light meter because you can use the meter in your camera like you're already doing. And you'll find that it's a good way to get started. Now, if you plan on making photography a career or doing it more seriously, you will probably eventually end up with flash. Does that mean that flash is better? Because right now you're probably saying, well, no, I want to jump right to flash because it's better. Well, flash is better for some things. And there's certain things you can do with flash that you cannot do with constant lights. Aside from video, there's not that much you can't do with flash that you can do with constant lights, although we'll probably think of something. So yeah, flash is going to be more versatile for you, but we'll start with constant lights. Anyways, I'm using a Canon 1DX Mark II. This is a 24-70 lens, Manfrotto tripod. This is actually, probably the tripod is the question I get the most. 0.55. This is my Manfrotto tripod. And yeah, we're shooting into a MacBook. I am tethered with a cable. By the way, if people don't know what tethered is, tethered means that basically the computer is attached to the camera, and as I shoot, you will be able to see the images immediately, not just like the little picture on the back of your camera, but the actual physical image. You can even adjust them and stuff and capture one. I'm using the cable from Tether Tools. It's also on a table from Tether Tools. So Tether Tools make stuff too. Tether, right? So they're a pretty cool company. Check them out. By the way, there's a cup holder. Just because you guys didn't know that, the cup holder. This is pretty awesome.
This is the third one? Third cup holder?
This is our, yeah. We've been through a lot of cup holders, but let's get down to the meat of this. Yeah, this is a light meter from Sekonic. This is a 308S. We're going to use this a lot, but not yet, though. So we're going to start with constant lights. So we're here in this space, and again, we're being lit by fluorescent lights. So if you have light available in the space, you probably already know that, you can use it as your baseline, right? This is often a good idea with constant lights because why not, right? It's already there. We already have some light here. So we've got this light coming from this direction. We have Julia here. She's looking good. You know, in this light, it's not always, right? But, you know, maybe it's not exactly what I want. Maybe it's got like too many shadows, not enough shadows, whatever, so I want to adjust it. One of my favorite types of constant lights is a Fernell style light, which is this guy. Basically what that means is it's named for Bob Fernell. He was a French guy. So basically a Fernell light is, Fernell is referring to the lens on the front of the light. Okay, so there is this one. There is a lens on the front of this light. You can see it here with concentric circles. There's also a screen here in case it blows up. What that does is it allows the light to be more evenly distributed. Okay, if you use what's called an open face light that doesn't have this lens, when you put your light, let's say, on your subject or on the wall or whatever, you're going to get a hot spot that fades off. You're going to get this with the Fernell too, but it's going to be much less pronounced, which means that if I'm putting it on somebody, right, having even light is going to be good for me, right? Because that's going to help the skin look better, et cetera, et cetera. So these are often good for portraits. This is kind of the Hollywood portrait, black and white stuff that you see, that style you get with this kind of a light. It is fitted with barn doors. Barn doors help us shape the light, and we'll show that in a second. It's an ARRI 300 because it has a 300-watt bulb in it, right? Simple as that. And it is made, I should say it is a tungsten light, meaning that it is warm on the color spectrum, right? So let's talk a minute about that because that's going to become relevant. Almost fell over. Got to stop drinking before I come to these things. So daylight, right, is in the 5,000 range, 5,500-ish on the Kelvin scale. Tungsten is 3,200. The higher the number, the bluer. The lower the number, the more orange, right? Which means that this is going to be more orange than daylight. So if I leave my camera set on daylight and I make a photo, my subject will look orange, right? But I don't know about you guys, but I have a digital camera. I know, it's amazing, right? They came out with these things a few years ago, the latest craze. There's a white balance setting in here. I can just set the white balance to tungsten, and then my picture will not be orange, right? It will be neutral. Neutralization of the color is what we want to be able to do. That means, though, that if I have a window and a tungsten light, they're not the same color, right? So I have to figure out a way to combine those, right? But if I'm only shooting with the tungsten light, which we will do, I guess, does that turn something off? Then if we're only shooting with tungsten light, I can just set my white balance and I will be completely 100% fine. The reason why I'm saying this now is this. A lot of people get into constant lights, and the first thing they want is a daylight balanced light, which is fine. There's LEDs that are daylight balanced. There's fluorescent that are daylight balanced. But most of those, in fact, all of them, are of a discontinuous spectrum. They're missing colors, okay? So you cannot get perfect, accurate color with these fixtures, most of them. The better ones are closer, et cetera. But generally, when I hear people say LEDs when they're asking me, I mean, I'm not judging you, but I know you're talking about the $100 one. Come on, you're not talking about the $5,000 one. If you are, yeah, go for it, right? But the cheap ones, and we're going to play with one, they're not going to have great, accurate color. Does that mean that we can't get a good photo or a photo that's nice or make somebody look good? No. But it does mean that if I'm photographing, let's say, Dave's jacket for a fashion catalog, and it's very specifically that color gray, right? It's kind of a warmish gray. I may not be able to nail the exact subtlety of the color because of that. It'll generally be more flat because it's missing color. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your light sources. I just wanted to get that out of the way because a lot of people are going to say, oh, I don't like to use tungsten because it makes my pictures look orange, and then I will roll my eyes if I could do that. Unfortunately, I am unable to roll my eyes. I wish that I could do that, honestly, but I can't. Anyways, tungsten light, Julia, Dave, here we go. This can also focus. I'm going to shine it at the wall to start off with. I'm going to turn it on here. Whenever you turn on one of these lights, because it's pretty bright, make sure you put your hand in front of it and say, I'm turning the light on. As soon as you say you're turning the light on, what does the model do? Looks right at it, always.
No.
First step is to call for the electric. It's a union job. I cannot plug it in. We need the electric to plug in the light. All right, so we're going to use the strip.
He's not using the strip.
Floor's got floor wax in those corners.
All right, there's floor wax in there. We'll see what happens. All right, so we can see here with my hand, right? It's like a bunny, right? That it's on the wall, and we've got a nice light here. I can focus the light, right? Which is making a tighter circle, my bunny, right? And I can also flood it. And I can also make the light go out when I do that.
It's probably not good to keep it in that.
It's either that or the light is loose in the socket here.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to worry about it because we're live and we haven't taken a picture yet. All right, so let's get Julia in place. Okay, yeah, let's switch to the other hole. All right, Dave's going to unplug it and put it in the other thing now. I guess we got to fix that. It seemed like a good idea to put sockets in the floor. It's not. Questions so far? No. Answers? No, definitely not. All right, so here's the beauty of this, right? Here we are in Adorama, or wherever you are. I can see the light, right, as I mentioned before, and I can clearly see that when we shine this light at Julia, that this light from the room, right, is still affecting her because I can see in her shadows, right, is not completely black, right? If I was in a completely dark room, maybe you've been in a completely dark room, you've turned on your light, maybe the light on your cell phone, right, and you shine it on somebody, there's light on them, right? And then wherever there's not light, it's completely black because there's no other light. Here we're mixing our light source. So this comes down, this is why I mentioned that. You thought that whole lead-in was just for nothing. This is the reason why. So here we are. I could play with this because this is what I'm at. What's going to happen is if I set my white balance to tungsten, her shadows are going to look kind of cool. Kind of cool. It's good, right? So maybe we want that. Maybe that's decent, right? Let's start that way anyways. Because let's say in most cases we can't put the person. In most cases you're not going to be able to walk in and just turn all the lights off. So let's play in this this area. Let me use the light meter just because I feel like it. I did say there's a light meter in your camera that you can use, which Dave might just use before I can do this fast enough. But you also have a light meter like this. This is a Conic 308, right? And I can put into this thing my ISO and my shutter speed, right? Then I'm going to fire the meter off, and it's going to give me the aperture, right? You can also do a combination where you put your aperture in that goes to the shutter speed, but I'm an old person, and they never did that back when I first had meters, so I never used that mode. But we generally want to be around ISO 100 in life, right? So that's where we are, right? And let's be like a 60th. That seems like a good place to be, right? Why a 60th? Why not a 60th is really the question. And I'm going to point the meter at the light, and I'm getting a 3.2. Okay? So I'm ISO 100, 60th of a second, 3.2. That should give me an exposure for the constant light source, which is going to give us correct exposure on her bright side, and then her shadows will fall off as they fall off. So let's just see what that looks like. We'll make sure our light. Yeah, the camera is giving us a different reading, and that's not uncommon, right? Because the camera is using a reflective meter. This is an incident meter. An incident meter measures the amount of light falling on your subject. A reflected meter measures the amount of light coming off your subject, right? So if you're photographing something that's particularly bright or dark and you're using a reflected meter, it'll often be thrown off by because it's trying to create, right. So this is generally more accurate, but let's see, right? Because a meter is not the photographer. The meter is just a tool that we're using. We have to look at the meter and say, okay, let's do a test shot and see where we're at, and then we'll see if we want it darker or lighter based on that. Yeah, she's in thought. We're a little warm. Yes?
Does it matter the meter mode as well?
Does it matter the meter mode on the camera? Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, Dave's going to switch to a tungsten white balance. There we go. All right. Yep. We want to blow it up, blow it up. Oh, you can see my background picture. Okay. So here we are, right? This is now with a tungsten white balance set, and I can actually see again because there's a lot of other light in the room that with tungsten we're a little on the cool side, to be honest with you, right? Doesn't look exactly right to me, but under the first exposure where we had it set to daylight, it definitely looked warm, right? Well, now we don't know what to do. We're just totally thrown off, right? Well, you know what the solution there? Shoot black and white, right? That's what we used to do. It's like, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to make it black. No, we can do a custom white balance using a digital target or something. Do we have that somewhere? Or if you're cheap or you need to do it really quickly, you can just go off a white shirt, you know, and that'll get you closer. You know, that's not perfect, but it'll get you there. And now we see we have decent, decent color. I like that ring. Very nice. Yeah, this is a digital target. PhotoVision, a digital target. It's used for white balance or color balance, right? A gray card is not used for white balance, unless it's a gray card for white balance. Because photography gray cards, the really cheap ones, the ones that are like $3, where everybody's like, oh, a gray card, those are for exposure. So this is for white balance, so we can hold it up in front of a grill.
Tilt it a little bit more. Yeah.
I'm gonna tilt it. There we go. All right, so we're now taking an exposure. What you can do, by the way, and I'm not going to talk about this now, I actually have a video about this if you guys want to check it out on Adorama TV. You can actually fill the frame with this and get a histogram to get your exposure if you don't have a light meter. But we have a light meter, so. All right, so I'm going to click here. I usually click on the gray part, but you can click all around to see what best suits you. The gray is usually best. If you need to be crazy super accurate, get yourself an X-Rite chart with all the different colors on it. But for portraits, this is totally fine. I have the camera, Capture One set to take the information from my previous exposure, so now it's going to keep this white balance. Now I'm shooting raw, so I can change it later, right? But still, I don't want to take the time to tether and have my subject here and her look at the pictures and they're all the wrong color. So I'm still going to take the time to do this now and make sure it looks right. So here she is. She's looking very thoughtful, or in thought. She's correctly white balanced. She's got shadow, right, which is kind of interesting, kind of moody. You know, it pops. It might be a little much, right? But remember that direction of light and where you put it is going to make a big difference. So this shadow is a lot on her face because her nose is going like this, but how do you get rid of a shadow? You move the light, right, relative to what's causing the shadow. Her nose is sticking out in front of her face. If I put her and I have her look directly at the light, look into the light, Carol Ann. Right? Then the shadows will be gone and we'll get nice even light across her face, right? I mean, that's pretty decent. Oh, do not leave the white balance dropper on when you're moving stuff around or you will turn the person green. That's why they created Control Z. All right, there we go. All right, so there we go. This is not ideal. I mean, I've got some other weird stuff going on under her chin with shadows and stuff. We can adjust this light a little bit. Let's work a little bit, because I think that in our case with Julia, this is actually kind of a nice light for her. It's got almost like a sunlight, like punchy feel to it. She's got good skin, so we're able to kind of work with it. If somebody had bad skin or lots of wrinkles and you didn't want to showcase that, or if they were very shiny, this might not be ideal, but she's none of those things. So, yeah. We can move the light as well if we want. Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah. Oh. Oh, Dave's getting very dramatic over here. So we're gonna, yeah.
It looks like right here.
There we go.
And then
So Dave's creating this end of day. She's on the beach. She's looking out, you know, even though the background's gray. But yeah, what can you do? There we go. So now, oh my God, what happened? The background went away. Why? Because the light's not hitting it, right? I mean, basically, our light was light in the background as well. Now the background is kind of a darkish gray with a little bit of a blue tinge because none of the, or very little of the tungsten light is hitting it. It's all of just the fluorescence that we have in here. Okay, makes sense? Simple enough? So this is great, right? And everything's fantastic. However, we're shooting at 3.2 at 100 ISO at 60th of a second. That's not super, didn't I just do this in a video? I literally just said this. That's not super slow, the shutter speed. If she's gonna move, let's say I'm shooting an active subject, somebody who's, I wanna, you know, she's not so serious, right? She might laugh, she might move around. There's a chance that she's going to be blurry, right? Because 60th of a second is not that slow. Plus, if you wanna shoot off a tripod, like with the camera in your hand, because you're cool, right? That's an additional area where you might shake the camera. So remember, 60th of a second, you know, is not tremendously fast. So that's, then we have to make basically a compromise if we want to hold the action. That's commonly described as the exposure triangle. If you guys jump on Adorama TV, not right now, you can check out Mark Wallace, who does great videos about that, talking about the idea that those three items, your aperture, your shutter speed, and your ISO, all create an equal amount of light, and how you distribute that is kind of, you know, is your control. Like if I wanted more depth of field, let's say, I could go with slower shutter speed, but then the sacrifice is that she's going to be more blurry, right? Or I could go higher ISO. It's going to introduce noise, you know. So this is kind of what we have to do. So let's go ahead and let's just show that. Can you move rapidly? Yeah. Yeah, she's going to do it. She's going to move rapidly. That's rapid. That didn't feel rapid. Okay.
Rapid enough.
All right. That, by the way, is going to be my new desktop wallpaper.
It's on trend right now, actually.
All right. So we can see that even at a 60th of a second, and she wasn't even that rapid, it's blurry, right? And maybe that's fine. I mean, if you've had a few drinks, that's kind of the way the world looks. But maybe we don't want that, right? And then again, we can get rid of that, right? So let's say, for instance, this is the light we have. I'm not saying don't use this light. Let's make the light.
I'm not using that way.
Oh, because it keeps going on and off. I think the bulb's loose. Okay, so we're going to switch the light. We're having technical difficulties. So basically, we're going to give ourselves more ISO so that we can have a more shutter speed, right? So basically, remember that everything is done in balance. So if I take the camera and I move my ISO to, let's say, actually, I won't do it that way. Let's say I want to stop her, and she's moving not that rapidly, so I know from experience that maybe 250 is going to stop her. So 250 is, and I have to count this out even though I've been doing this for a long time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's 2 stops, right? So now I can give myself 2 stops of ISO to make up for it. So I go boom, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you have an old camera that does half stops, then you just do it that way. All right, so now I'm 400 ISO, 3.2, 250. This should do a much better job at freezing her motion, right? Assuming that she's going to not be rapid, like she was. You have to move at exactly the same speed or else it won't be scientifically accurate. All right, she's got it down. Any questions so far? While we change the light? Did you say it's smoking?
Yeah, it's okay.
That's fine.
Brand new.
Okay, so it's smoking. Smoking.
Was that what we're doing?
All right, yeah. So now we're at 250, and we can see that she's still kind of blurry even at 250. Wow, okay, so what are we going to have to do? Let's go to 500. 500. So 500 is another stop. Should we go 1,000? Let's go to 1,000 because that's too blurry for me. I need sharp pictures. Extra sharp. 1,000th of a second. We're going to go 2 more stops on our ISO, so that's 1,600 ISO. 1,000?
Yep.
There we go. Now we're getting sharper. Again, we're sharp here. We're actually seeing this is actually focus, right? He's focused on her ear.
See, focus, Dave.
Huh?
No, he's focused on her ear. She's moving, right? There's the focus. So, oh, man, she's moving around. We finally stopped her moving, but man, my depth of field is kind of terrible at 3.2. I mean, I know I spent a lot of money for this lens and I want to shoot wide open all the time, but man, my subject's moving, what am I going to do? Let's go to, I don't know, let's go to 5.6.
Okay.
And give us some more ISO. Right? What else are we going to do?
We are at 5,000.
We're at 5,000 ISO. Fantastic. All right, there we go. Now we got some more depth of field. She's more or less frozen. She's still not perfectly sharp there, but let's try again. We'll give him another chance.
I was a little premature on that one.
That's okay, though. All right. Oh, oh. All right. Yeah, there we go. So now she's sharp with enough depth of field. She's frozen, but we're starting to get some noise, right? We're introducing noise at 5,000 ISO. Noise is mostly in your shadows. Also, going higher in your ISO is going to mess a lot with your contrast and your depth of color. So it's doable, right? We've got the shot we want, but you know, it's not ideal. So let's just jump for a second, even though I really like that. Let's go to a flash. So, no? Okay.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
All right.
You're like, I got it. It wasn't funny.
This is the Flashpoint Zoom Lion. Lion? It's a Lion R2. This is like a $60 flash. $65, I think it would cost. They wouldn't give me the Canon flash anymore after that incident. No, I just want to do this because this is a cheap flash. I figured I'd show you guys. This is a very inexpensive flash. This flash, though, is more powerful than a locomotive. No, it's more powerful than this light, right? We can definitely get this flash to a point where Oh, this is the slave?
No.
That's fine.
Okay.
Because it said
Why does it say A? Okay, that's fine. All right, I have no idea.
say M in a box.
Okay, it does say M in a box. Don't put M in a box. I got you. We're good.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, nope. No, you pressed something. Now I'm in multi. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I don't know because this is not a TTL flash. I don't know where to set it at, so I'm just going to guess. I'm going to go to 1/8. That's usually good. And I'm going to put it on the camera. We'll start that way anyways.
We have a light meter as well.
And we're going to use a light meter. So we're going to take our flash. We're going to use our light meter. I'm going to put it in non-coordinated flash mode. Now, I do know this, right? I already know my settings because I have a maximum synchronization speed on my camera of 250th of a second, so I'm going to go back to 250. I'm going to drop my ISO to 100 because I don't like all that noise. And we'll leave it at like 5.6. That should be good. We should be able to get enough light out of it for that. If the flashpoint light gives us enough light out of it, you guys can cheer if you want to. All right, so I'm going to set this at 250. I'm going to go to non-coordinated flash mode, which means that when I press this, Dave will fire the flash. Oh, just
5.6.
I should just leave now. 5.6, that's it. All right, so let's turn this off so people know, just so we know we're not cheating. And let's take a shot. You don't have to move yet, but you can if you want.
Is that same ISO setting?
5.6, 100 ISO, 250.
Yeah, I'm still like cranked way up.
Oh yeah, no. Let's get down to where we always shoot. By the way, this might be the first time in history that you ever see me shoot off 100 ISO. That's not true, but I almost never go over 100. And it's white light. That's right. So the color's gonna be wrong.
Yep.
Perfect. Look at how crispy she is.
Smurfy blue.
Yeah. Now she's blue because this is a, what's that? It's a flash, right? So what do I have to set my white balance at? Flash. No? All right.
Someone's doing the whole
Nope.
song for you.
Oh,
you're
good.
Stuck on custom white balance, isn't it?
Maybe he's stuck on the custom white balance. So we have to do stuff that Dave will do.
Go to that one. Yep.
You got to go to a little doodad and switch it back and then do last shot. There we go. Perfect. There it is. That's actually not terrible for a $65 flash. Now, we're not going to make any comments about the bad shadow on the wall because we're not worried about that right now. Let's have her move, though, to see if that's going to actually make a difference. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, there we go. She's slightly out of focus, probably because of your actual focus points on her nose. But we can see that, oh, actually on her lips. Back eye, yeah. But we can see that she is crispy and frozen. At 100 ISO, at 5.6, at 250th of a second, which doesn't really matter. If it was completely black in here, I could shoot at 5 seconds and she would still be frozen because the flash is what's stopping her. The only reason why I'm at 250 is to eliminate the light in the space because any light in the space could cause blur. So just to show that, let's turn the flash off. And then we'll take a picture with no flash. That's right. So all that light is coming from there, right? What would you pay for that? No, I went to the... Okay, so that's flash. I mean, that's the power of flash, and that's the junky 65... It's a very inexpensive $65 flash.
You want to show that 60th of a second from the audio.
We could do a 60th of a second if you want, but what will happen is if we go to a 60th of a second, well, let's try a 60.
Stop down to compensate.
And we'll stop down to compensate. Thank you, Dave. Dave's going to do math. So now we're going to do the opposite. We can't go faster than 250 because we're going to do a 60th, which is 2 stops. But if I do that, I'll start picking up some of the light in the room, right? So we're going to give ourselves 2 more stops on the flash. And then we have to turn the power up because it's not a CTL flash. So basically, we're going to take our flash and we're going to bring it up from 1/8 to half, right? And then we're going to go 60th of a second, 100 ISO, f8, 11. Doing math here was tricky.
Okay. Now, go ahead and...
Makes sense? Well, come on. I mean, it's very inexpensive. There we go. 60th. Boom. Frozen, right? We're not getting any oohs and ahs or anything. Come on now. All right, thank you. There we go. Jeez. All right, so, but that looks terrible. And these flashes are cheap, and you can get 2 of them. So we're going to use what's called, I don't know what they call it, this is the radio mode. Okay, what that means is inside this flash, and that one as a matter of fact, is a radio. So you can check your favorite station in the morning, you do the morning DJs, whatever. But also you can make this flash fire this one remotely, right? Which means I can then control the position of my light. Because the position of your light is one of the reasons why you're lighting, right? If you buy lighting and all you do is stick it right there in front of the person, you might as well not light. You might as well just use a window. So we want to control our light. We're going to put it where we want it. And where I want it is right here. Now, stay where you are at F11 too, I think, because I'm going to put the flash. You already went back?
I did.
Okay, then I'm going to turn it down because I'm closer. Here I have to use the inverse square law and a light meter. So I'm going to do both things. Actually, I'm going to have somebody help me. Who wants to help? Step forward. Put the flash in a good spot. Remember, don't drop it. It's $65. Put it somewhere good. Don't screw it up. Oh, I see. That was smart. See? He learns. He put it where Dave put the light because you can never go wrong with that. All right. So I'm going to meter it at 250. It's at 7.1. So we got to turn it down a bit. Or shoot at 7.1. 5.6, that's what we want. Again, we're adjusting the flash power because we already know what we want our camera set at. That's just a different way of operating. Yep, she's going to look towards the speed light. And there we go. She's lit up with a side light. But you know what? That light's a little bit, but by the way, not to like bash on the flash because right now we're already making it look good and you guys are impressed by it, but you see the background? Ugh, right? Because it doesn't have the Fernell lens that you have with the hot light, right? You don't have that beautiful Fernell lens on there. Flag it. No, flagging it won't make a difference. And you were doing so good. All right. Bare head from a speed light is usually not the most flattering light in the world, right? I mentioned this last week, so I decided to bring it in from my very own bag. I don't even know if they make this anymore. And if they don't, too bad. Back in the day, before they had Speedlight softboxes, they had regular softboxes. And this is just a regular Photoflex softbox that I have modified to put on a Speedlight. It did require me to bend one of the things. It's a little bent. But basically, all I did was take a regular speed ring, right? Speedlight. I sell these online for $300 if you guys want one. But basically, we're going to take this, and we're going to shove that light in there. Anybody who knew me from back in the days where I used to live in Florida has probably seen this, because this is how I shot like so much on the beach. Yes, that is tinfoil. All right, so you're going to jam that bad boy in there. There you go. And get that right in up on our grill. Remember, the closer the light is to somebody, the more flattering, the softer it's going to be. So we're going to get right up close. Maybe we're going to put it here. You're tall. Put it right here. Right over her head. You got it. You can do it with one hand. You got the skills.
I want to drop this $60 flash.
Don't drop the $60 flash. Now look up a bit. Come forward a tiny bit. Yep, right there. Go. Good. That's a start. We'll have to use a reflector, I think. I won't overly criticize you right now. 4.5. Dave's going to turn it up. 5.6. Okay. Yes, we could just adjust the camera, but again, once you're using flash, you probably want to set your camera where you want it and then leave it. So now she's going to bring her grill up a little bit. Right, now we've got this like closer, more powerful light. Okay, so, dude, I don't know what you did there. What's going on there? Who told you to put it there? Who told you to put that there? That is the worst light I've ever seen in my life. Now come this way. Is that the shot?
That's definitely in the shot.
All right.
Slipping out.
All right, man, you're breaking it. Don't break my flash. Hold on to it. May I use your reflector, Seth?
You want the hard one or the...
No, I'll get the blue. All right, here we go. Dave's got it. You be the photographer. Jump on the camera.
Is your $30 box and my $3 reflectors?
Yeah. Yes. No, that's okay. You got it. Jump on the camera. Oh, no. See, I was going to make you the photographer. You should have. All right. All right. So I'm using the Seth reflector made in Manhattan. And we got a remeter.
I think it's going to be a slight adjustment.
Boom. 6.3. 5.6. Notice how I'm using this reflector? Putting it in as close as I can. And there we go, right? What just happened there? $65 flash. Piece of tin foil.
Hey.
Done.
Hey. Hey.
Okay. That, by the way, is a great box. I don't know if they make that anymore. That's the PhotoFlex, blah, 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 whatever it is.
They still make it extra small like that.
Yeah, what's funny is I actually got that speed ring, though, from some junkie. Yeah. Well, listen, that's made for my Canon flash.
You're right.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to make one custom for this demo. Okay, now we've got speed light, right? Overpowering the light in the space. But listen, we can, let's say that like you bought the Arri lights and then you have them and you're like, man, I got the Arri lights, so they cost me $300. I don't know. Well, you can use them together. Why not? Why not? Let's use them together. Let's do it. Yeah, so let's do it. We're going to bring the light in. Here we go. So I'm going to do like a little hair light action. What do you think, Dave? Striking.
Right into the audience.
Right.
Should I go on the other side?
Yeah, probably.
Still have a cornea left.
I said, what did I say? What happens when you turn the light on? People always look at it. All right, so hair light, barn door, so it doesn't get on Seth. Okay, here we go, striking. All right, there we go, barn door, keeping it off of Seth. We should probably get the light on her though, that would be good. There we go. It could be in the shot. By the way, I'm notorious for putting the light in the shot, so I'm gonna stand here until Dave tells me it's not.
There we go, we're good.
Okay, are we flaring?
What speed light?
So the speed light is the flash point, blah, blah, what's it called? Zoom Lion, L-I-O-N. Is that how you say it, Lion? Lithium ion, it's got a battery in it. It's pretty good, 65 bucks, can't go wrong with that. Seth used 10 of them. That's because they fail so often you had to buy more. No.
Check the video.
No, if you check out the video, I have to plug the video. There's a video on Adorama TV. You guys should check it out. We actually did, by the way, for people who are in New York, we were probably going to do it again. We did this hands-on workshop. Were you there? No, I didn't see you there. And we got a huge studio and we had a bunch of stuff. And one of the things we used is why I have this sitting here, are these flashes. Seth took 10 of them and lit up a kitchen and it was pretty epic. And 10 of those still cost just as much as one expensive flash. But I would still tell you to buy the expensive flash. Oh, okay, we're getting there. Our exposure just off. Okay, so we need the light meter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna meter it. What are we at?
I just dropped it down to 16.
No, but speed. Okay, so we're at 1/15th of a second, 100 ISO, 5.6. 5.6. Okay, why? Right? We just had all this awesomeness with the flash, but now we have to go to 15th because this light needs it, right? When you're mixing your lights together, you're going to really think about it like this. Figure out where you want your aperture to be in your ISO and adjust your shutter speed to compensate for your constant light. That's the best way to think about it. Your flash will always be the same no matter what you do. So now she's got the golden light on the back of her head. Now, do exactly that. Like go like, okay? That was very specific instructions. I was going to tell her to get jiggy with it. Isn't that what it is? That's the song? No? Okay. All right. What do we got there? Her head's on fire. I know. Right? But,
She looks very chill about it.
yeah, her eyes are sharp. Why? Because the shutter speed is not affecting the flash. The flash fires so rapidly that it's not really affecting it. This is called mixed lighting or pop and blur or a lot of other things. That's a totally different class that we'll talk about in the future. Actually, I'm doing one in June all about this. But just keep in mind that you can mix the sources together, but you got two things going on. Shutter speed, right? Make sure you have your shutter speed set for your constant light. And color, right? This background light on her hair is warm now because our balance is set to the camera. I mean the flash. You could put gels, you can do all kinds of things like that, but just know that you can mix them together, but to be wary of that, or how are you going to put them together. Questions, thoughts, concerns? Anybody want to come up for a quick poem or something? We should have like a mid-stream poetry jam every Thursday. We're going to start doing that, I think. Seth is a beast. I don't know why somebody would say that in the chat, but it is actually true. Oh, 10 speed lights, yes. Seth is a beast. So I've got the, I just open stuff, that's what I do. I have the Savage, who makes basically background paper. I'm holding it upside down, I'm sorry. Everybody at home, flip your camera over. RGB color light. One of the cool things you can do with LED lights, this is pretty new, is some of the newer ones can be like a lot of different colors, not just warm or cool, they can be like purple or whatever. So this uses a battery. It looks like is that a Canon style? Or is that a Sony style? Sony style. Comes with, I think it was like, I don't know, maybe it was like $100. I don't know unless I break it and then I have to buy it. Okay, so, all right, so we've got this LED light, right? One issue with LED lights. Are you ready to be blinded? Get ready for it. It's going to be terrible. You ready? Everybody's ready? Oh, God. All right, so you've got a bunch of small sources, right? These small sources, right, are all tiny, tiny hard lights. This is not going to be the most gentle thing on somebody's face, although this one does have a diffusion, so keep that in mind. See, look at her. Oh, God, she doesn't know what to do. So what's cool about this, though, is it's got like a little digital clock in the back. That's, you know, from 1980. But you can be different colors. So if I go, let me turn the power down. All right, so I'm going to turn the power down so I'm not blinding Dave. All right, so I've got my color temperature, so I could turn it to match whatever. And I can hit here and be in whatever color I want to be. Like right now, I'm red. This is literally the first time I've turned this thing on, so I'm hoping that it's, okay, we're getting green. I'm assuming that it goes to blue or something eventually.
Got RGB in there.
There we go. Yeah, the B is blue usually. All right, so you turn it and jiggle it. What's kind of cool is each color has a number. I guess it goes up to 255 is what I'm guessing. Even if it doesn't, I'm going to say that's the truth because that seems right, right? 255 always has to do with, nope, it's going higher. What do you think it goes to? Oh, there we go, purple. I'm a fan of purple. It's a purpley magenta. So what we're going to be able to do here is we're going to use this instead of the area light as our hair light, right? Now it's purpley. Now I've got the power set at, oh, nope, that's not how you turn on. Nope.
That's how you reset it.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Okay, so when you're doing that mode, it just is whatever power it is. I told you I never used it before. I think I made that up. All right, here we go.
Out the flash for a second.
All right, no flash, just the purple. Ooh, dramatic. That's not bad.
Sheet in the clear.
Cool.
Oh yeah, they are.
All right, can we kill the house lights for a second? It's gonna get dark in here, guys. Hold on to your wallets. We're in New York. All right, here we go. Ooh, I'm gonna get a little bit on her eyeball like that because that looks creepy. Oh, it's on her nose though. Hold on, there we go.
You're in the shot now.
Oh, of course I am.
Okay. This is
Okay.
the flash.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. All right, good. I shouldn't have moved because now I'm not in the right spot.
Yep, now-
I yell at assistants for doing that all the time.
So that looks pretty good. That's good. What
Yep.
we want exposure-wise, or we want to go?
I think it should be a little bit brighter.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think, Seth?
Yeah, it's on.
A little smidge. Let's smidge it.
We can stop. Two-thirds. We'll go two-thirds.
Yeah, 2/3. Don't go too bright because we'll lose all the color.
Yeah, 2/3.
Nice. And there we go. Now we've got a movie poster. Oh, look, somebody's calling me on my watch. This time I will not answer it. Okay. Do you remember that time I did it and it was Cliff? And I was like, Cliff. All right, so I didn't answer it, did I? No, okay. All right, so now we've got, again, mixed color. You could use we can turn the lights back on. I'm sure at home everybody's wondering where we are. You could use, of course, a flash with a gel on it. But one of the cool things about this is this has all these different colors. So if you're going to do a lot of color work, it could be fun to have an LED to mix in, keeping in mind that we had to shoot at 1/10 of a second, you know, to get that. So, you know, be wary of that. You know, again, we could give it more ISO to compensate. You know, you got to play around and see where you want to be. Questions, thoughts, concerns? Nothing. All right, cool. All right, are you ready for the big guys? Are you ready for the big guys? Are you ready? You can sit down now. We're not paying you. Thank you, though. That was excellent. You can keep that flash. No, you can't. It's Seth's. You can't keep my box. I've had this thing since 1994. All right. All right, so I wasn't even born in 1994. I made that up. All right, so let's go to the big guy, right? The main event, what you've all been waiting for, the thing you want to have right? This is the big flash. What is this? Profoto. This is a Profoto B1X. They all come clearly marked with what they cost so that when you have clients in front of you, you can be like, listen, the reason why I'm charging you so much, this light cost me $2,000. You know it's going to look good. No. So this has got a price tag on it for some reason. I don't know why. I guess we were in a store. On it is a 2-foot by 3-foot softbox, right? Big, relatively speaking. Big light is soft light, right? So this is like your standard portrait size softbox. Yes, you could fill this softbox with a single speed light. Oh, should we do that first? Yes, you want me to. I can feel it. Uh-oh, something died? On what, the flash?
He hid the battery, so.
Oh, for the lithium ion flashes?
No, for the...
Oh, thanks, Seth. Okay, let's do a quick thing, though. Let's just do a little quick thing, just because I feel like it. Because no matter what I say, I always change it at the last moment. You've done such a good job. You've been upgraded. Grab your flash. You're welcome, Winter. I just say whatever Seth tells me to say. Okay. Let's say that you're that person that sits in every single one of these, and then you say to me, Daniel, can I do that with a speed light? Let's see. 2-foot by 3-foot box, right? Classic portrait box, single $65 speed light. Let's get our light meter out. By the way, if you want to really be awesome and cool and like really impress your clients, never use light stands. Always have somebody hold the light. Gotta have lots of crew. I feel like they made this coffee at like 8 o'clock this morning. It's just been sitting all day.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is from yesterday, apparently. Has some hazelnut.
Oh, that's right. All right, here we go. 3.2. 3.6. He's making us work for it. Standing by. 5.6. All right, 5.6. We're done. That's it. You don't need Profotos. You can just buy these $65 lights. You'll be totally fine. No, we're at 1/8 power, which isn't too bad. So let's see. If only you guys could hear what I hear. There we go. Beautiful, big, soft light. Right? From a speed light.
Is that head zoomed out?
I don't think so. All the way is wide head. So there you go, right? That's not too bad, right? So yes, you absolutely can. If what speed lights is what you have, certainly you can work with them in bigger boxes. This is about as big as I tend to go because otherwise it's going to start to get a little slower on the recycle versus a bigger light. But yeah, 100%. You can put a speed light in a bigger box. There you go. Thank you. Yep. Now you're good. However, if you want to make the big bucks, you got to roll out the Profoto. So okay, that's fine. We've got that. Let's go to Big Flash for a second. So this guy's got a couple of options that are useful to us. One of which is, well, aside from being more powerful, of course, one of which is a modeling light. So a modeling light is a constant light that turns into models. No, it's so you can aim your light. So now, sure, with practice and a little bit of experience, you can aim a speed light pretty well. People who've been doing this for a while don't have a problem. But modeling lights will allow you to really see the light on the model, right? Really see it, where it is on her, how to shape it, how to put it exactly where you want it, right? Also, you're going to be able to shoot a heck of a lot faster with a light like this, right? And you can put it in even bigger boxes. So these are, some advantages of having like your larger size flash. But you know what? Just like with the other situation, we can mix them together, right? Let's say I have one speed light and I have one Profoto, right? Because I had I had $2,060 because I could buy you both things. Does this have an optical slave in it? Okay. So an optical slave means that When it sees another flash fire, it will fire. It's a good feature to have. It's a lot of features for a $65 flash. They are winning me over.
However you make it happen.
175 for TTL. Well, that's still pretty good. I don't think I wouldn't do that though, but I would get the non-TTL one. Yeah, pretty cool, right? Yes. Would I consider that too blown out? Nah. I think that you're looking at it on a projector versus the computer screen. Yeah. Note if you're here in public, you're looking at it on TVs, which is maybe not as good. I will say this, people tend to shoot dark. I don't. I like to push it right to the edge, but that's just me. If you feel more comfortable, like people are moving around. Also, she's got very matte skin. You have nice matte skin for some reason. She uses she buffs it. You know, however you do that. What do they call that? Where you exfoliate. So she doesn't have a lot of shine, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? So that's good. Let's say somebody's very shiny. If you're very shiny, this could be problematic because parts of your head would be overexposed. In which case, we would want to be a little bit careful. Or be like, get some powder, man. But, you know, or lady. Okay, well, if it doesn't have it, we can always go to...
No, they do. It's just
They do.
right.
Okay. They're going to figure that out. Any questions while we're waiting? Yes?
What is the TTL flash do different?
So what TTL means, that's a good question since I didn't talk about that, and this is a flashlight. TTL means through the lens, right? So through the lens metering is really what it means. So oftentimes people think, oh, you know, I'm using TTL, I'm not using a light meter. Well, in fact, you are using a light meter. You're using the light meter that is into your camera. So if I have a TTL flash, what it means is, even if my flash is over here, it's using the camera and the meter in the camera to make the proper exposure. So that's all it is. It's basically, could be considered kind of an automatic function because you're going to set the flash to that. Your camera can still be totally manual, of course. So this is a TTL, non-TTL flash, meaning that it cannot do TTL. If you pay the $100 more, you will get TTL for your camera system, whatever it might be. Nikon, Canon, Sony, Graflex. Graflex TTL. Let's just use the optical slave on this one,
On the what?
on the Profoto, since there is just clearly a simple button to press.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is not a $6
Well, it was $65 last time I looked. How much is it now?
Because this
It is
is
a-
the lithium-ion version.
Oh, the non-lithium ion version is $65, I guess. I don't know. It was $65 last time I looked. Money means nothing to me. All right, here we go. All right. So we're going to go back to using this system as our master, and the reason for that is because we know how to do that. Sometimes in life, you just got to go with what you know.
Yeah, it does.
I believe it, but it seems to be not functioning, or we don't know how to set it, and Daniel just wants to keep going because I get paid by the word. So every time I stop, like I'm not getting paid, and come on, we want to get paid. You know, it's all about the Benjamins.
You could pull up
The manual.
manual real quick, but...
No, we don't need the manual. Let's just make it work.
Let me just...
We wouldn't have the manual if we were on location. Actually, my bag is full of manuals that I never open. Cool. All right. Give it a little test to see if that one fires.
It did.
Cool. Oh, maybe from over here.
Both of them fired.
All right. All right, so we're going to have to meter.
Yeah.
Well, this one's already metered, right? We haven't changed anything. Yep. So I'll meter this one. 7.1. That's perfect. Why not? We'll make it a little hot.
Okay.
Let's do it. So we're exposing at 5.6. We're going to go a little hotter on the hair light because I like to. Right? And again, it's hot. It's probably too hot, so we can turn it down a bit. 7.1 is 5, 6, and 2/3, so we can. By the way, you can also see that I'm kind of feathering the light. Are you going to mirror? Yeah. 4.5.
Yeah, we'll try it.
We'll try. I'm feathering the light a little bit to get some on the background, to give a little bit of a gradient. There we go. Right? Now we're mixing our It's not $65. I've already said $65, so that's what they're gonna have to sell it for. Sorry. We're mixing our inexpensive speed light with our Profoto, and it is working 100% fine, right? And they're both flash, so the color is the same, right? We don't have to worry about any of that, and we're good to go. Other questions? You do have good skin. Do you exfoliate a lot?
No, try not to. Like once a week.
Oh, once a week is a lot. I've exfoliated 4 times in my life, so that's, you know. She's like, not a lot. And twice has just been my face being slid across the ground in a bicycle accident. All right, so. Well, yeah, shaving is kind of exfoliating, I suppose. All right, good. Questions. Let's open it up to questions for a second, and then I'm going to do something cool, I think. I just hit my mic, I'm sorry.
What's the name of the Profoto light?
This is the Profoto B1X.
Is that a good one to start with?
Yes, it is absolutely a good one to start with and end with. Okay. It is the actual lights that I use, so I always recommend them, unless somebody pays me to recommend something else. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. These are the lights that I have. So, question. Yes. You seem like you have a question. You're going like this.
Power setting affect the flash duration? Like if you have like a
Oh, wow. Look at you.
subject?
Wow. That's like advanced flash class right there. Okay, so, all right. So let's just do some definitions here for a second before we do something cool, because that's important. I think I jumped over some definitions because I was getting a little crazy. Hold on one second. I'm going to define. Remind me, though, that I said that, because otherwise I will forget you. So flash duration is what he's talking about there. So all that I was talking about, because I was trying to keep it as simple as possible, was the idea that your flash stops your subject, right? That's what they told me in, you know, 9th grade when I first took my first photography class. And that's true on some level, and that's because your flash is only firing for a very short amount of time. That's called the flash duration, right? So assuming that none of the light in the space that you're in, whether the space be on top of a mountain at night or during the day, or it's in a building, it's in whatever, as long as none of that light is affecting your shot, the flash duration is effectively your shutter speed. Usually flash durations are, you know, far above 500th of a second, 1000th of a second. Sometimes they're not. Some junky flashes are lower, so that's a whole other thing. But really good flashes have super, super short ones. 20,000th of a second, I think this one is at, like the absolute bottom power. But it is related to the power. So generally speaking, the lower the power setting is on your flash, the shorter the flash duration will be. So if you need to stop action, like really stop action, splashes, you know, hair flying for dancers, what typically people will do is they'll cluster flashes together and turn them down all the way. That's how you maximize your power and get the shortest flash duration, or get broad color. So those things are what you would do. You know, it's simple enough. What you would do is you'd basically cluster your lights together. If it's a pack and head system, which is becoming less and less popular, where there's like a power pack and the heads go up, there's heads that have multiple tubes, and you can plug them into the pack separately. That's one way to do it. With these, you would just put a bunch together. Yeah, got that? That's a good question, though. Makes sense. Hold on. Yes. See, I didn't forget about you.
Can you try raw photo and one reflection area?
Oh, really? That's your question? And I waited for that? Yes, of course we can do that. Sure. If you hold the reflector, go. Go, make it happen. Don't screw it up. Yes, question.
When I first started out,
Uh-oh.
I was using the on-camera
Yep.
flash device and discovering
Okay.
that I was getting overexposure
This is Julia.
on one side and
Yep.
my own shadow in the photograph on the other. So I began using steady lights.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, honestly. What I will answer your question like this. Wherever there is a light, there will be a shadow on the opposite side. So if you're getting a shadow in your picture that you don't like, it's because there's something between the light and whatever the shadow is being cast upon, whether it be the wall. We can see in the case of her that there is actually a shadow on the wall right here. It's a very soft one. And the reason why the shadow is there is because the light is there and behind her is a shadow. Right? Did you make it happen? Did you do it?
Can you see?
Oh, yeah.
Is it with the shift? I always forget.
Yep.
So you see
Yes.
with,
Okay.
with the reflector and without?
Right. So here we used a reflector instead of a second light source. Okay. Pretty nice, right?
We could use
Good
the
job.
silver-
Good job.
The silver reflector.
Silver reflector would be more specular. We could try a silver.
Try that. And try with this one.
So yeah, you can definitely use a reflector. A reflector then effectively becomes another light source for you, right? Other questions? Yes.
Before when you first brought out the reflector,
Uh-oh.
you did a meter of the light, but you did it without the reflector. Does it make a difference?
That's a good question. So this is actually a very good question and something that I always do, which is not consistent. You'll see other people do it differently. This is how I do it. I always meter my light and get it set before I put in the reflector, even if I know I'm going to use the reflector, like let's say in the case of a beauty light. The reason for that is because the reflector in my case is a fill light. It shouldn't be adding really light to my shot. It's just filling in the shadows. I'm exposing for the neutral, which is not the shadow. That's the reason why I did that. But that's a very good question, sure, because some people will come in and they'll set up everything. They'll be like, oh, I know I need a reflector, so I'm gonna put, oops, sorry. So I assaulted him, you guys saw that, he's gonna sue me. So I could put my reflector, I could do this. I always add that after I meter the light. Okay, and now we've got this thing working for some reason. Okay, I kind of like this thing.
Got it.
Nice, you can also put this on top of your camera. I don't know why you would ever do that, but let's try it.
Wow, that was rough.
Why would you put it on top of the camera, like for a video light?
Yeah. I mean, that's what they're.
I guess it is a video light. This is pretty cool. We can put this on top of the camera. Striking. All right, okay, we add a little bit of red. This is what you do when you want to scare your subject. Yeah. All right, so you can put that on top of the camera. Okay, questions? I think we covered everything. Wow, that was really fast. Oh, it's an optical. Let's do something with optical. I feel like we should make a good shot. Let's make one good shot. Let's do it. We need help. You ready? Here's your light. Don't screw it up.
It does.
All right.
Or S.
So here we go. Let's do like an overhead beauty, like this. I'm going to fill with colored shadows, and then he's going to do a hair light.
Does this have to see the...
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
The optical's inside the infrared.
All right, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to put this in the center because, again, we want to control shadows, right? So I'm going to take this. Dave's going to put some dirt on it, official dirt from New York. Step back for a second for me so I don't knock you over. All right. Normally, I don't mind dropping lights on the models, but she's new. I mean, if you're going to get hit with a light, though, this is a good one to get hit with because it's in a soft box, and of course, a soft box is soft, exactly. Come on now. I cannot do an entire. I told you. Did I not tell her that the was it soft though? It was. Yeah.
Was it soft?
Did you exfoliate?
There was some exfoliation going on. Okay, so that's pretty good.
Let's pull it back some.
Yeah, we're going to pull it back, and we're going to pull you back so we have some control because we have to make a good picture. I'm required to make one good shot a day. All right, come forward, please, Julia. Okay. So I actually want to create a little bit of shadow here because I'm going to fill in with the colorful light.
Is that
So-
gonna be a good shot? You want?
I don't know.
Make that blue?
Dave said, "Is that going to be a good shot?" I love that. Yes, I think blue. Yeah, we got to do a color.
Yeah.
All right, you're in hair light position. Yeah, so you know how to do that? You've been watching. I've seen you come to many of these. Do you know how to do it? Is that how you do it? That's not how you do it. Come on, if you've come to a bunch of these, come on. Just give you a hard time. So, this is a common hair light mistake, which I will now rectify. Okay, so you're going to be the model for a second. Come stand here so I can showcase the whole world what you did wrong. All right, so everybody has their nice, attractive man here. We want to photograph him. So they take their hair light and they go like this. The hair light needs to be this way. It's a separation light, right? And typically, I mean, you can aim it a little bit, but you want to kind of be like this. The edge of the light is going to separate him. And then we have all this extra light if we want to reflect it back. We don't want to do this with the hair light because that's going to cause shadow, right?
And hit the background more.
And hit the background more, which we don't want to do generally. So don't screw it up. All right, so this is good. We'll start with just a reflector because it's questionable whether or not the colored light underneath is going to look good. What's that? Not yet. But thank you, though. We're going to go only flash to start with because he is the savior of the universe.
Someone actually said that in chat.
Yep, thank you. I know that a lot of people don't like that Flash Gordon movie, but I happen to be a fan of it. All right, so I'm going to, oh, the Pro Photo controller. Here it is.
Here on me.
We have a lot of controllers going on today. We're like controller central. Here we go, Pro Photo. Oh, modeling light.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, if you guys have this Pro Photo system, the modeling light for some reason messes with this meter. I have told them that, but they just give me a look. 8.
Nice. It's much closer.
Yeah. Yeah, for some reason, the flickering of the LED modeling light throws off the meter. 6.3. Yep, 4.5. 5.6. All right. 5.6. Hair light. Want to get this one at 5.6 as well?
You want me to?
4. Oh. Turn it up one stop. You don't know how to control that thing? Come on.
Yep. Just one hand.
Yep. Go to up one stop. Good. I don't know. I just tell people to do stuff. I don't know how to. This is how you do things in life.
It was at an 8? Or was it
It was at 8th and at plus a 3rd. 5.6. Well done.
There we go.
All right. We're now balanced. Let's start this way. I've already metered it so I can bring my reflector in for fill. I'm going to move it in until Dave sees it, and then he's going to tell me to. Boom. I think the hair light's a little off. Why am I so zoomed in? All right, that's not terrible. It's very Benetton. Is that a Benetton shirt? Remember Benetton? Are they still around?
No.
No.
And other stories. Isn't that beautiful?
All right. Wise guy models. That's what we get here. All right. I think she moved forward. Did you move forward?
Like, take it a step.
Oh, you want to come forward?
No.
No, no.
Walk that way. There we go. Go west. Yeah, right.
Oh, jeez.
There was a little bit of a shift that happened. And your knuckle was in the shot.
My knuckle is often in the shot. There we go. Nice. Okay, that looks pretty decent.
Nice and clean.
Nice and clean, right? Benetton. However, like I said, I want to add some colored shadows because I feel like it. So let's see what it looks like. I think she's going to have to be straight on to do this, though, if that's possible, so we can get maximum shadows. So let's see what it looks like without the colored shadows. So let's take one again. Yep. Your whole job is going to be to stand there. We could put it on a stand, but I don't want to.
No, but this wouldn't stay on.
Yeah, you're in the shot.
Yeah, a tiny bit more. There we go.
Okay, so we have some shadows. We're going to bring this in. Creepo.
Maybe way too dim. You can bring it up. There.
Okay. So we're going to have to make some adjustments here, shutter speed wise. We should just do this. Oh, I guess not. We're going to do both. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I think it's too close though. I'm going to bring it back like this. So it was like this. I'm going to move it like this.
Your hand is just really in.
My hand. Hold on. Let me adjust my thumb.
Okay, and then bring it down a tiny bit. There we go.
I think blue is your color. Okay, it's not doing anything. So let's give it a little bit more shutter. Can we kill the house lights? Oh, this is creepy. That's what you like to hear, right?
I'm giving it 2 stops.
Dave's giving us 2 stops.
And then lower the light.
We call him 2-stop Brusca.
Should I lower here as well?
Nope.
You are good.
There we go. And there we go. Now we have blue shadows.
A hint of blue.
That's not terrible. I will say this though. Get a little softbox in there so you can see here. You can turn the lights back on, Seth, please. What I will say is this. I don't know how to turn that off, so I'm just gonna put it over there. This is not this class, but I'm gonna mention it anyways because everything's interconnected. When we add the fill light, right? You'll notice that it actually makes her face seem a little bit more wide, right? So depending on the look you're going for, right, because this has been asked a million times, so I'm just trying to answer a little bit here, that will actually widen up the face a little bit. It actually adds a little youthfulness to it. I like it. If you are not a fan and you want the face to be more narrowed, you want to use a more narrowed light source. We could swap these 2 lights and make her face very narrow. That would definitely work. You'll have to trust me. Actually, let's just do it because nobody ever trusts me when I say that. So go ahead and put that light over. Actually, we don't have to because this softbox. Yeah, let's do that. Let's use this light as the key light now.
Okay.
With the blue. Let's do it. You ready? Yeah. Don't we have 2 area lights? Oh, one was broken, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'll still work.
Okay, we're changing it. We're gonna do one more shot. Here we go. I'm gonna go 2 area lights from the back, right? And then we're gonna add this guy as the key on her face.
This or that?
This.
Okay.
And then we're going to use the colored light underneath for fill, because I feel like it.
And not, okay.
And not what?
Something.
Now we won't use the pro photo. We use that every week.
We do.
So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to mix these light sources together. The reason why, even in this case, right, because I actually have 3 of these area lights. In fact, I have a data light as well. So I could do this all with tungsten, but the reason why I'm using the flash for 1 is because that's going to be my like guaranteed sharpness on her face, right? So that's why the flash is going to be useful to me here. I'm going to use all these other lights, and plus I like the idea that I'm going to play off the fact that these are going to be warm and give her a golden glow. Not a golden globe. You can get that. I think we're out of season for that. I'm sorry, what happened? Did I have a question? Or is there just a fight going on? Okay. It's New York, people are fighting. All right, so I'm going to turn these lights on so everybody should look at them. Julia's a little bit cold, so. Oh, this one doesn't like to work. Oh, you know why it doesn't work? Because it's not plugged in. All right, I'm going to plug it in now. Where is this power strip? Oh, there it is. Fancy. All right, here we go. 2 area lights from the back, or 1 area light from the back, because this one doesn't want to work. I just plugged it in.
Try the another out. Or.
All right.
Make sure you're unplugged. You are unplugged.
Oh, you're unplugged?
Yep.
I'm unplugged right now, yes. If you're changing the light bulb, I want to unplug it. All right. You should definitely not change the light bulb when it is plugged in. That's a bad idea. Except for your house, because there's nothing you can do about that. Yeah, it would be amazing if that was it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, we're going to switch to the light bulb, because why not? Questions? Am I going too far? Yes, that's okay. So Julia, what do you think?
I think it's cool. I like the blue one.
You like the blue?
Yeah.
You would say the blue is cool, as opposed
Isn't
to
that
warm.
smart?
See that? See how I set her up there? Yes. Yeah. All right, so we're switching these out.
Just plate, just change. No, I changed both of them.
You could have a short in the light. So we're just changing the light bulb here. It's like surgery going on. It's very exciting. It's like that time that the Pro Light exploded. Don't worry about it. We'll just won't use it, unless you want me to do it.
No, it's just, I think the actual.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the actual connection is like.
Okay. That's fine. If it's not working. These are 3200 Kelvin.
That's not cool.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about it in the middle of the live stream. We can scrap it. It's okay. Thanks, Seth. Okay. No, we're not going to put a filter to balance it because we want it to be warm.
Yep.
We're going to go warm here. Okay. We're going to bring this guy in. All right, so you're going to come in. You got to be right in the center, so you got to really work it, right? Don't drop that flash. Nope. All right. Get it right up on her grill. One's good.
No, I was thinking, do you want to try like the pro photo with the other hair?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Dave always has good ideas.
We'll go like over the power.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're messing around here. We're about to go crazy. I wonder why those bulbs always break.
I can't keep pulling them out of stock, man.
Where's the pro photo light? Oh, Dave's already got it. Are you going to go hard light?
Yeah.
Perfect. We don't need the cord. I got some wire clippers. We'll take care of it. All right. We're not worried about that. It's not mine. All right. So we're going Profoto light. We're going airy light. 2 different colors, right? One's warm, one's cool. We're going speed light. We're going LED light. So turn that and pick a color. Just turn that one until you see a color that looks good to you. All right, so we're gonna get a color on her. We're gonna get some light. We're gonna make a cool picture. I've already done a decent one, so now we can just mess around. I'm trying to get a good picture here for my profile, my Facebook profile, so I'm gonna jump in and get one. What? You did shoot one, and it was very nice, but now I've matured since then. I don't know what that's supposed to. All right. Yeah, right. that almost cost me my computer if you had spit that all over it, so I was glad that it didn't happen.
What else can we
Yeah, let's meter it. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's go. What do you want to do? Hair light first? Well, we do them all at once, I guess. Well, it doesn't really matter.
Hair light first.
All right, hair light. So you still have to hold that though, because you're gonna fire it. 6'3". Oh, I'll do it.
I want. Yeah.
You want 5'6"?
Yeah.
Again? Again? Perfect. 5'6".
Okay. Let me check my.
Okay. Dave's checking the exposure using the camera the meter in the camera for the constant light. You pick a color you like. You picked blue. Okay. I like blue.
Oh, interesting. Just thinking right for that. And then with this, let's go sideways.
Yeah, we'll turn the lights off. All right, guys. So I feel like I'm in like one of those like reality shows where like they have the light on. It's really scary in here. We don't know what we're gonna find. Might be Bigfoot. Might be a Speedotron light.
Oh, you know what, man? All right. Sorry, I take shots of you tonight.
All right. I got my blue light going on here. Not like. What's that? Oh, interesting. Oh, all right. That doesn't suck.
Very Hollywood.
There we go. So now we've got a tiny bit of blue coming in the shadows, barely there, right? We got a little lens flare there, little tungsten light on one side, strobe on the other, and look at how beautiful that speed light in my homemade, well, not really homemade, I bought it from PhotoFlux, softbox looks. But anyways, the whole point of this exercise, here, shine that on me so people can see me. There you go. The whole point of that exercise was to show you that when we take a more narrow light source, oh, nope, here we go. Right, narrow and flat, small and skinny with the things, see how it changes the shape of her face, right? So depending on what you're going for, right, you can get a lot of different looks. Perfect, thank you.
Let's try.
Oh, Dave's got an idea.
Yeah. I love that.
I told him to shine it on me. You're doing a good job.
You did a good job.
Seth thinks I'm crazy. That doesn't, yeah.
I don't think you're crazy. There's plenty of other words that are crazy.
Okay, any questions before we, I feel that at this point we've gone off the rails.
So try it.
Actually, how long ago did we go off the rails? Did you keep track of that?
You're hitting an hour and a half.
She stopped taking notes like 2 hours ago. She was done with it. She was like, I don't know what's going on here. I do like this mixed light thing going on here.
Yeah, you did a good job. You should submit the critique.
Oh my God! By the way, there's a critique. I'll do this while Dave's getting the light ready. If you guys interested in having myself and the amazing Seth Miranda critique your work, you can see him. If you don't know who Seth is, he's right here. Last Ex Witness on Instagram. You got to be in New York, unfortunately. Submit it in. Go to adorama.com/event. May 22nd. Submit to the critique. We'll talk about your stuff in a positive way or negative, depending on how the pictures look. And it'll be really fun. So you must be here to be critiqued. We won't talk about somebody's work if they're not here.
Lean forward a tiny bit with your chin up. And raise your chin. There we go.
Nice. Oh, wow. There we go. And there's red, right? So there we go. Oh, no, he's not happy? What?
No, I said it's another look.
Yeah, it's another look. Of course it is. I mean, it's quite nice. Could you do it without getting the lights in the shot? I think she would like it without the lights in the shots.
For his portfolio, so could you do it without the
I
lights?
got. This is, by the way, you're going to see this picture on my Instagram tomorrow. No, not the Ari's fine because you can just crop it, but this one, because I think she's probably not going to want a picture with the light in it. I don't know. Do you like the light in the shot?
It's kind of Hollywood, yeah.
Oh, okay. She likes it. Who am I to say that she wouldn't like it?
We have digital.
Yeah.
This is digital.
Dave, did you change the focal length at all?
I've been 70 pretty much the whole time.
Dave's mostly shooting at 70 millimeters because that's what everybody does on 24-70. This is really interesting. I mean, I did this for two reasons. One, because I just like to give Dave a hard time, but also because it really does make a difference, right? I mean, there's something to this, right? Because we're talking about the critique and all that, right? There's something about her face, her expression is almost identical, but the use of those lights, the way it changes the angle, you know, and how your eye travels across the screen makes a difference. And that's also relevant in your photography. Keep that in mind. See how I segued that? That wasn't bad, right? He thinks it's bad. He doesn't know where I'm. Yes, question.
So the setting in the camera is set to which light out?
Okay, so the setting in the camera is set to what light? It's set to all of them.
No, each one.
Oh, I know. It's amazing, right? So let me run through this one more time because this is kind of important, right? So here we are. We know that for the most part, and this is not 100% true, I'm being, like with the flash duration, I'm being a little bit basic. Your aperture is going to be the kind of the thing that's most relevant to your flash. So we're setting our aperture on our camera at 5.6, right? We're making sure when we meter all of our flashes that they are all at 5.6. That way we get the correct flash exposure. Then we dialed in our shutter speed to compensate for all the constant lights, which basically ends up being a, no, it was different, right?
This is it. It's been the same.
The 60th?
Yeah.
Okay, which is a 60th of a second. So basically, we left 5.6 because we know that's good for the flash, and we dialed in a 60th of a second on the shutter to make these two lights work. Now, if we were to go to, let's say, 250, and the reason why I'm going to 250 is that's the maximum sync speed of the camera. I can't go faster than that unless I have high-speed sync, which is a whole other class. We'll see that. Well, I'll just leave it just for absolute comparison. Right? This now gets dimmer over here. Because now we're darker, right? That's our hair light. See the difference? Right? Shutter speed didn't affect our flash exposure at all. The forehead, I mean, this looks, look, you can even put them together. Like we used to do with Polaroids. Remember we used to do that with Polaroids? The skin tone and everything's exactly the same because you put that flash exactly in the right spot every time. You're good at that. So that's great, right? The hair light changed because we changed our shutter speed. Okay, so what light am I set for? All of them, right? And I'm not being sarcastic. I mean, that's literally what we're doing. We're making a series of exposures, each one for our different light, but they all are 5.6 at a 60th of a second at 100 ISO. Does that make sense? And there you go. That's how you do it. Wow, I can't believe we got through that. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not done yet. Okay, so I'll be back next week, character portraits. So if you want to see more funky stuff, we're going to get right into that next week without all this learning crap, and we'll be good. Make sure that you follow me, Daniel Norton Photographer, here on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Do a lot of stuff with Seth on there, so if you want to see us get crazy at our studio, 1,200 sessions, check that out. 22nd is a critique. Next week I'll be here. And if you celebrate the holiday, which I don't know what it is, I'm sorry, on Monday, enjoy it. Otherwise, don't enjoy your Monday and have a terrible holiday. No, the following holiday following Monday is Memorial Day, I think. I'm not sure. There's a holiday this Monday. It's a Jewish holiday because Adorama is closed. So if you need stuff, make sure you get it. Okay. Peace. You can cut off.
You guys clap.
Oh, we have to clap. So okay.